Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Made with Love. My name is Heather and today is Wednesday, October 29th of 2025, and today is my fourth day of my Bible junk journaling. And I was at the dollar store, so I did get washi tape yesterday, so that is good. I've got washi tape so I can get my files looking really nice. I can get a nice strip across the top of here so I can separate, so I'll kind of know, definition between each of the books of the Bible. So I'm going to do today, today's Bible verse was in 1 Corinthians. And I'm going to say I had made a mistake when I wrote this. I wrote Corinthians and then I forgot the one. And then there was another one I had done and I forgot about John 3. I forgot about John 3. So it's like, hey, doing this is actually getting me, like thinking about the Bible and everything like that. So this I'm going to put on here. And I'll just, like I said, I've got my markers. Pulled them out. So I'm using these dual tip markers. In fact, they're it's a fine or extra fine and a brush tip. And the brush tip really feels like a paintbrush, or some of my calligraphy pens have that brush tip to them as well. So I think I'm going to start with this. So I'm just going to figure out what colors I want to do this with. I'm going to use the red. I don't know. I know I should have put the one on this side, but there's not enough room, so it's going to sit on that side. That doesn't matter to me. It kind of looks a little creative. So I'm just going to, and then while I'm doing this, I realized that I can't tell that that's supposed to be an N. Looks like I had done an A and forgot to draw the line that way. That's okay. I'll just set that aside. We are doing 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verses 1 through 9. And so I already had gone and I wrote the Bible verse on this blue paper, and I had my stencil, the stencil here, and it's got this little vine heart right here. So I used that at the top and the bottom to give this some nice little bit of decoration to it. And then for this one, I had these pages, and I like this combination of these two together. And I really liked what I did yesterday when I cut the paper diagonally. So I'm going to do that for these ones too. I'm going to attach. Turn it this way. I'm just going to trim these, cut these diagonally. I thought it looked really cool. I'll be able to do it on this one. A little tricky sometimes trying to line stuff. There we go. So I get, and same with this one. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. I'm not, I'm not somebody who cares about being exactly perfect, but I'm going to shut my door. So I just got home. I just met the women from church, and the us got together for coffee. So I just thought, let my animals have a few minutes to be outside. And I know she's upset because there is neighbors out there with their leaf blower out there. And there's somebody else walking with like 2 really big dogs. So she can wait. See, do this. See, this is like bigger than this paper. So I'm going to cut these down in half again the other way. Because the great thing about doing stuff like this is you can be creative and just kind of, if something doesn't quite fit, you can cut down and change how you want to do it. I think I'm going to cut these this way as well. Then I'll get a few more smaller triangles. That one. I mean, I know I could save time and put them through at the same time, but I just like to be able to make sure I'm getting it straight. And also it's got some pattern here, so I can kind of offset it and just make sure I'm going through the pattern so it looks nice. There. That's going to be so much better. A little bit smaller. Here we go. Do this. I think I kind of like that. And the great thing is, you can just kind of play around with these, figure out where you want them to sit, and then glue them down after. Kind of like something like that. And then this side, maybe I'll do it backwards. So I kind of like the idea of having these layered up with the different colors. I'm going to do this. And then this is going to take up a whole bunch of that space. So maybe. Because this page here is going to take up almost all of this space. So maybe I'm not going to do that. Maybe I'll just trim these down just a little bit smaller and just kind of have like the little corner tabs instead. But I really like the idea over here. Let's see, how did I do that? Because I kind of like the idea of having some of this here covered up with this green. and then filling in with this one. I'm just going to figure out exactly how I want to lay these out. Because this green here behind this really makes the color in here really stand out. I don't know, I just don't want to use, what happened if I just trim this in half once more? Just get a smaller triangle. Let's see if that works a little bit better. I did not want to cut. There. I don't know why I just didn't want to cut. I think it was just the angle that I'm using at. Now it's got this funny jagged edge here. I'll just trim this off. I'm not too worried if it hangs over down here. I can trim that when I get it glued down. This one too, just leave that trimmed. I'm just going to trim that. Let's see. Look that corner a little bit more that way. There. Then I have less green in that spot. I think I like that better, where it's not so much green. Let's see. I'll glue these down, and then I kind of like that. And I can get some other, might get some other colors in here. I've got more of this paper. So I'm going to trim this off now so I don't have to worry about it. And I can trim this a little bit neater after the glue has dried. But if I trim some of it now, then I won't have to worry about it getting caught on anything or getting glue on the table. I'm just going to grab my scrapbook paper and let's see, find, where did I put it? I set it in the living room. I'm going to grab my scrapbook paper, find some more of the green flowers, and just fill some of this in with some more of the green flowers, and then putting this over top. I think I like how it just makes it pop. So I'll be right back. I found this other scrapbook paper. It's out of the same book, so it's got the same colors in it. And I just line them up together, and I just snip them or just cut them. And I got different widths of strips, just so I can, just want to do something a little different. Don't always want to just use triangles. But let's see. I do kind of like this one here as a border up here. Should be too thick. There, like this. I like that, just to kind of give some stuff to the edges. Glue this one down. I got this thick one here, right here. I do want this triangle piece over top of it. So do the triangle piece over top of this one. That's why I kind of like glue sticks sometimes. It is a little easier to change your mind. It's not as permanent as some of the other glues. Kind of like that. And then I can stick this. So I cut them different thicknesses just so I'd have some different. So I'm just going to mark right here. And right there. And same up here. And there. Kind of trim this down a little bit. And it should kind of fit in here. Like that. There's the smaller pieces. Oops, maybe not. Okay. I'm going to cut this one in half. I'm just going to fill this in with these ones. I'm going to cut this one in half and get that filled in. And I'm just going to glue these 4 pieces down and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got all that glued down. And then I just took some strips of the other one and made a border right here. So I'm just going to glue Bibleverse right down like that. And then I'm going to reread the passage, and I had some things I was going to write over here. I think today's journal is done. And then there's my folder here. Set that aside and let the glue dry. And I'm just going to grab this stencil here with the lines. I'm going to make it as straight as possible and just add my lines here. And then, what did I write? I forget what I was writing. Oh, right, completed. That's what it was. And this is chapter 1, verses 4 to 9, and my version is the RSV. Sometimes I have the King James or the NIV, the RSV. I don't know. What's the other Bible I have here? Oh, the NLT. I don't know. I've got like 5 or 6 Bibles, and I kind of go back and forth between each of them. It kind of helps knowing what passage is. Sometimes it's just easier, or sometimes you just want to, when you read it in different versions, it kind of helps you with the meaning. And then I realized I forgot to glue this little title page thing here on. And now, of course, I will be changing this out a bit as I get this completed, because I realized that I'm making this title page here, but not all my things are starting at verse 1. But I'm not worried about that today. Today I was just trying to get, the basic things done. So there's no point in putting a title thing if this is not going to be the first one, but that's okay. You can see how I'm going to kind of start to make out the signatures and attach everything as I get more and more verses done in each book of the Bible. That is today's is basically done. Like I said, I do want to add some elements over here. I just have to find where did I put that. Right here, my stencils. Which one was it? I always like looking at stencils and seeing how pieces of them look like other things. So I got this hot air balloon, but the basket part actually looks like a crown. So I'm actually going to put this crown over here. I'll do it in yellow. And then I'll look for stickers that I have. Kind of, give some different elements to it. Now, I can't really see that, so I'm just going to take my black and I'm just going to outline it. Of course, I already moved my stencils and I got to reline it up. And just kind of go over. Put some lines on here. Kind of looks like a little crown. And then I can add some other elements as I find them, but I think that's as far as I'm going to be able to get to today. I'm just going to watch the clock. I think it's almost 4. No, it's almost 5. I've got to get ready. I got class class starts at 6:30. So that is today's little junk journal Bible completed. I'm just had the thing. There it is. Just so I don't lose anything out of here. I don't want anything to fall out of my little folder. So there you go. Today was day 4, so I have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So I've got 3 days of my Bible verses done. This is just, I think it's going to be so fun. And like I said, now that I've got this washi tape, I'm going to actually just go back and I'm going to put a strip of washi tape on all of these. Maybe I'll do that now. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out how many colors I have and what order I want to do them in, because now if I start putting stuff on these ones, they're not going to be lined up and my pattern's going to be, not very good. I'm just looking at the thickness here. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the thin ones. I think I'm going to use these ones. I mean, I could do these thicker ones, but I don't know how much you get on each roll of tape. So these roll of tape here, it says it's 1.5 centimeters by 3 meters. And then this one here says it's 10 millimeters by 5 meters. So you get more tape on these little rules than you do on these ones. See if I can try to read it in. So these small ones, it's 0.375 inches by 16.4 feet. And then these ones, say they are 0.6 inches by 9.8 feet. So you do get more, more on these ones. So I'm just going to debate. Let's see, there's 12, that's 24. You know what? Maybe I will use these ones. I think that'll be more fun. So I'm just going to grab my other books here, folders, and get all these put back in the right order and just start putting the strips on here. I'll be right back, and I might as well just do that today. All right, so I've got all these back in the right order, and I guess I'm going to use these ones here. So I'm just going to open. Let me decide here, like I've got, it's 27 books, so obviously some of these colors will get duplicated. I just want to find the ones I like the best, and I'm going to say, I'm not a fan of green, so I'm going to set the green aside, and that removes 6 colors already. Didn't realize there was that many green. So I've got red, some purple, pink, yellow, pink, red. I don't know what colors. Maybe that's purple. I don't know. And the blues. Oh, I got a nice green. Actually, I like this green. Maybe I'm going to decide what shape I want to do. So I'm looking at this. There's not many. I'm going to separate these by polka dots and zigzags. So there's diagonal. I'm going to bring these green ones back in. It wasn't my favorite color, but I'm looking at what colors I do have, and I just... Okay. Well, I'm just going to grab the first one here. And I'm just going to start. Oh, I guess I'll do this one. Oh, that kind of ripped funny. It didn't quite work as good as I thought it was going to work. Okay. I gotta go very slow with this tape. It just wants to peel off funny. Just trim this so they kind of overlap just a little bit. But it's been a while since I've worked with washi tape. I forgot that it's like masking tape, and it just can't pull too fast, too hard. It will break. But there we go. One down and 28 more to go, but look at that. I do like that. So I'm just going to do all of them. Now, of course, when I do this, I no longer know what Bible chapter this will be, but I'm going from the beginning to the end. So if I keep everything organized, then I should know what they are. So I'm just going to add washi tape to all of these. It's going to take me a little bit to do this. So I'll be back when I get them all finished.